Hello, it's Matt Heaton here, and I'm addressing a few topics that were raised over on the Virtual Guided Session Facebook page. This one comes from Mark. He was asking if I could do kind of a more thorough breakdown of an A minor tune, and I will do my best. I'll do the Fair-Haired Boy, which is a jig in A minor that appears in the In Harmony collection. If you want to do a deeper dive, and I'll try and play it for you, just get the idea. Something like that. So the tune's in A minor, and if the basic thing to know about minor tunes is if you're, the sort of bare minimum that you have to know is you're probably going to be playing a minor 1 chord and you're going to be playing a major flat 7 chord. Major flat 7 chord sounds really weird. It's just a major chord that is a whole step below the 1 chord. So A minor and G. Or if you're an E minor and D, or if you're in D minor and C, G minor and F, that sort of thing. Those chord pairs tend to make up the bulk of what's going on. However, if that's all you do, it can get a little repetitive maybe. Like, after like a few minutes of that would probably go a long way. So the first thing we want to try and do is think about, what else can we throw in there? One thing that I am a big fan of is just different voicings of chords. So in that little third measure, I do a kind of I'm putting a C below it. I'm not playing a C chord. I'm playing a A minor with a C in the bass. So maybe I am playing a C. So that's C, G over B, then a regular G. If I voiced that higher, too in the weeds about the voices, I don't think, but I'll talk about that a moment at the end. In the B part, that phrase, I mean, you could make an argument for it being the same as the first part, but just for the sake of variety, I actually threw in an E minor there. So that's a minor 5 chord in the key. The thing you want to watch out for is don't be throwing no major E major chords in there. That's not what we want. So So without really changing position, like you've got approach approach it by a little half-step passing chord. D over F sharp, Why can we do that? Because this tune is in the Dorian mode and it has an F sharp in it. So you can play a D over F sharp chord quite nicely. But the main, I guess my overall approach, once you figure out sort of the basic big chunky chords, is how can you connect them or voice them in a way that makes kind of a line, that makes something sort of interesting happening, so that you aren't just going like big chunky chord, big chunky chord. Now I mentioned, so these higher voicings that I'm so enamored with, this is my, like, excuse me, if someone yells A or A minor at me in a session, this is the thing I'm going to play first. It's 7 on the 4th string. So open A string, 7th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, open. Right? You can equate this shape to a D chord. Right? It is currently neither major nor minor. But here's the beautiful thing, you can reach so many different things without really leaving the shape. If I wanted to do that thing, there's my C, so now I have a C over, A over C chord. And that takes me down to a G over B, which takes me down to or I could play, whoa, what's that? So up here, I'm playing, where I started. If I play this note here on the 10th fret on the 4th string, that makes it, that's a C natural. So I get my whole minor, like fully minor chord. And then I slide these two down, so that's 9 and 7. Which, that's a G chord, or it's 2 notes of a G chord. And then this is 5th string, 10th fret, 4th string, 9th fret, and the open G. And the nice thing about this is it's kind of, and spooky versus this, which is more low and driving. And it's good to have a bit of both, right? I mean, it's nice to as many different ways to play a given chord as you can figure out. You will use them all. Having access to a good variety of ways to play, say, an A minor chord, or a G chord, or a D chord. Do not be satisfied with only one. You need them all. You don't need like a chord dictionary with every possible chord and every possible key. You just need to start with like one chord and find some different ways to play it. And then find another chord and find some different ways to play it. And then figure out how you can connect them. And the more you do this, you're going to find patterns like that, reappear over and over again. But I digress. The one other thing that you can sometimes get away with in an A minor tune is, we already did a little D chord, but that was just kind of a passing chord, right? You could do a D chord as a big old substitution, maybe. So in the B part of this tune does a thing that a lot of A tunes do, and it hangs out on this high A. Right? Which, makes you think that it would probably be. What if you put a D chord, a big you can, sometimes you can get away with that as a substitution. But I wouldn't stay there for long. Why does that work? It works because there's an A in the D chord and there's an A in the A chord, and that's really the only reason. It doesn't work everywhere, and it's not like it's one of those. It's one of, well, like everything, you got to try it, and if it works, then it worked, and if it sounds terrible, it didn't work, and don't do that again. Right? The other substitution that shows up a little more, that's a little more like the kryptonite nuclear option, is an F chord. There's no F in this tune. This tune has again has an F sharp. So if you play an F chord, it's pretty striking. Does that mean you should never, ever, ever do it? I wouldn't say that. I mean, it could work, but you need to be aware of the fact that you are making a bit of a statement. So if the B part, if I'm, right, something like that could work. So I did an A, F over A, slid that up to a G over A, and got up to an A, just a normal A minor chord here on the fifth fret. I always tell people that the playing, say, for example, an F chord, it's a chord built on the flatted sixth of the scale. So an F chord in the key of A minor, a C chord in the key of G, for example. I'm sorry, C chord in the key of E minor. These things are like, they're like swearing in polite company. Like, if you're the type of person who never, ever, ever swears, no foul language ever escapes your mouth, and then, you hit your finger with a hammer and you go, ah, and, let forth a stream of profanity, it gets people's attention. People know that you're upset. Whereas if every other word out of your mouth is, F this and F that, then it doesn't really have that much effect. So if you're always playing F chords all over the place in your A minor tunes, it's probably too much. But if you save it for that special moment, like you're in the set, you're playing away, you've played this tune 3 times, oh my gosh, we're playing it a 4th time, I'm going to do the F chord. That's kind of the place for that. So anyway, I hope that this is somewhat helpful. This is some of the ways I think about like A minor. And again, they're all different. You got to approach each one on its own terms. I mean, there are definitely things that things that work in more than one situation, but because it works in one tune is no guarantee it will work in another tune, because they are different tunes. So the biggest lesson here is learn the tunes. And you could start with that one, which is the Fair-Haired Boy in the key of A minor. So thank you very much for watching to this point. If you have any questions, if I just serve to confuse things further, ask away in the comments, and I will do my best to help. And take care.